All right, good morning. How are we doing today? I am going to do a quick video on the cash offer platform. And I'm going to show everybody how it works and the roughly 14 different revenue streams that come off of it. It is a fantastic program. I've never seen anything like it. And it actually just changed my business. In fact, it saved my company. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize this and share a screen, and we'll show how it all works here. Okay, so this is the forward-facing cash offer platform. But what I want to do first is I'm just going to take an address here. And we're going to go ahead and add a property. This is what people can do. There's a couple of ways they can do it. You can have your consumers come in direct from all your advertising, your postcards, whatever it is, and say, hey, get 14 to 18 cash offers within minutes, speak to no agent. That's going to be the type of advertising you run. They go in and they input their information into this house, and it will generate the cash offers. Now, they don't necessarily go to them. All right, you can have it go to your inside sales team, or you can have it go to your agents. You can have it go to you, whatever, but you want to present these in person. But this is how they do it. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a property. So I'm going to take a property. I'm going to take a round property of mine. Oops, you got to spell it right though first, Jim. Somewhere else. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and put this in. So it's one unit. It auto-populates, and that's a great thing about this. It auto-populates everything. All right, we're going to go to next. All right, and I'm just going to put in my name. All right, and this is a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, 2-car garage. It's 2,600 square feet. It's actually 2,602, but who cares? 2002, San Diego, lot square feet. There we go, through. Now, what is the property condition? So I'm going to say it's good condition. Let's go next. Oops, floors, 2 floors. All right, estimated value 1.5. It's actually not a 1.5 house. It's probably closer to 1.4. We'll do that. And then my relationship to the seller. Now you have different options here. This would be an agent inputting this. I don't have the listing using this to prospect, so you can just show up to maybe for sale by owners or something like that and say, I've got cash offers or open houses or driveways. I'm going to show you all the different ways you can use this thing. It's absolutely fantastic. But let's say I don't have the listing, but I'm working with the seller. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create the property. Now what's going to happen here is it's going to put a picture of the property. There you go. It's going to have a couple offers in here real quick. Now, what I'm going to do real quick is while this is populating, all right, and we can see the time right now is 8:16 a.m. So I'm going to show you, it's only going to take a couple minutes. I'm going to go through the different revenue streams of this system here, this cash offer platform. Okay, so number one, obviously selling homes to an investor and inputting whatever commission you want. All right, so this means that you're going to, and this is when I first got the platform, I thought this was it. I thought there was only one revenue stream. I thought, hey, we're going to take our listings, we're going to input them into the system, and it's going to generate offers, and we're going to sell the house to the investor. Well, it turned out that really wasn't the way it ended up working, not the way we thought. This another one is you can resell the same home, get a second bite of the apple. And I'm going to go through how each one of these works. I'm just going to give you an overview real quick of what this all looks like, and then we're going to go back to the offers and work on it from there. Consumer direct, requesting cash offers through the website. I'll show you how to do that. Remember, what this looks like. There is a highly profitable system that a friend of mine is using. It's a little questionable in the way they do it, but I mean, I've never seen anything so profitable. And then, obviously I missed number 4, loss leader selling homes through listings so you can use them, sell them for retail. This is probably where 98% of our cash offer platform leads end up going, as they end up going to a retail sale. But awesome. I mean, fantastic. I think it's almost better though, because I look at listings as, and this is going to be very contrarian, I look at listings that I put on the open market and I advertise them. I think of them as freeway billboards. And with my team, I make this, and it's kind of a joke, but it's also kind of not. What's the worst thing that can happen to a great listing? We sell it. I know it sounds weird, but think if it's generating tons and tons of leads. Do you want to take down that freeway billboard? All right. So anyway, this is why I actually prefer that most of these cash offer leads end up going retail. Anyway, so this is a system, and one of my friends in Texas is using this. Buyers can use it. Now, this is a huge buyer's agent tool where buyers can show the client they have off-market properties, and I'll get into that in a few minutes. Instant offers, think about being at an open house, an agent at an open house, and somebody walks in, turns out they have a house to sell. Hey, would you like me to generate 14 to 18 cash offers for you? It only takes 2 minutes. How about that? Vendor support. You can actually get vendors to pay for your platform fees. In fact, there's a guy in Colorado who has so much vendor support, he's actually getting paid each month. It's like more than what the platform costs, and it's really not very expensive at all. And then it's an amazing recruiting tool. So anyway, let's go back to those. Let's go back to those offers now. So we're still okay. Here we go. All right, so now we have 9 of them. They're going to keep coming in, and you notice it's now 8:19, so it only took a couple minutes. All right, so let's go ahead and go through a little bit of the background while these are populating. All right, so some of the background is I run a team out here in Southern California. It's not a very big team, about 15 to 17 agents. And in 2020 and 2021, we did about $7 million in gross commission income. So not bad for 15 agents, right? That's commission income. So when you have a team that's doing that much revenue, you have to build a support staff for that. Did you guys notice how it just kicked up to 19 offers on this house now? But you have to build a support staff that works its way up to that. And the problem is that if you guys all recall, what happened in the second half of 2022 and 2023? Interest rates skyrocketed, right? So all of a sudden our $7 million gross commission incomes drops to 4. But I have a support staff and expenses that support 7. So I just wasn't making any money. And in the second half of 22 and the pretty much all of 2023, I was absolutely miserable because we'd make 20,000, then we'd lose 15,000, we'd make 15,000, we'd lose 20,000. And it was just for 18 months, I wasn't making any money. Now, for me, I'm very fortunate in that I'm personally I'm really good with money. So every time that we have those banner months or we have those banner years through all my years in this, I buy investments. I buy investment properties and a lot of them, different types of investments. Anyway, my point being is my passive revenue exceeds what my cost to live is. So just my mailbox money exceeds what it costs to run my life. All right. So what that means is me at 55 years old right now, I can retire at any point in time I want. And that's a really good feeling. And the problem was is that the end of 22 and 23, especially after 18 months of dealing with agents and dealing with problems and dealing with this and that and the other, all the things of running a team that all suck. I hadn't made any money and I was ready to retire. I was just going to be done. So I remember the call that I got from one of my friends who built this cash offer platform. And he says, "Hey, bud, I've been working on this thing for a few years. It is now running. It's a cash offer platform. It's really slick. You need to take a look at this." And I said, "Okay." We take a look at it. Well, the backstory is about 7, 8 years ago, HomeLight started coming into my area and they're becoming a pretty fierce competitor. And they were based out of Phoenix. I have a friend who lives in Phoenix. So I called him and I said, "Hey, I need to borrow your wife. I need to borrow your house. I'm going to pretend to be you." And I managed to get a HomeLight rep to come to that house and do the entire pitch for us. I secret shopped him, gave me all the contracts, all the content, everything. And so I had the entire package of everything that my competitor was doing. So I was leaving Phoenix, getting back on the plane to come back home, and I called him and said, "Hey, let's grab a cup of coffee." So anyway, I was telling him about it, and my friend was running a real estate team at the time. I told him what I just did. He says, "Hey, I compete against them all the time. Can you give me all the stuff?" And I said, "Sure." I gave him all the contracts, all the cool stuff that HomeLight was doing. And so, fantastic. That was great. Little did I know he was going to take that information and go build a platform that could beat HomeLight, and he was also competing against 72 Sold. And so anyway, when he called me, he said, this is the platform I have. I was like, "I'm ready to shut this thing down and just retire." And he says, "You need to look at this." And I realized this is a pretty awesome angle. I can do something with this. And honestly, this platform saved my company. And so we'll go back to the revenue streams. Now, I as a investor, or excuse me, I as a team leader, as a CEO, if you will, it is my job to maximize profits. And everybody who runs a team out there, your job is to maximize profits. Your job is to test price elasticity. Imagine if you're a CEO of a company, you've got a board of directors, and the board of directors finds out that you as a CEO are not testing price, you're not maximizing profits, you're not trying to find additional revenue streams from things that already have. That board of directors should and will fire you, right? So I had to learn how to overcome the initial problems we had. Because if you go back a few years ago, this platform didn't have 19 offers coming into California. Now, there's a lot of investors that do not want to do business in California. There's 49 other states they can mess with. Why deal with all the politics and all the stuff that's going on in California? I can't say I blame them too awful much, except for it's a kind of a hazy day, but usually the weather's pretty damn good. All right. So anyway, um, initially we were getting like 3 or 4 offers, and they were terrible. I think they were just not good offers because the few investors that would invest in California just weren't willing to put up any money. So it was a real problem. So now that leads me to my issue that I had to overcome is, have you guys ever heard of the phrase every level is another devil? All right. Well, what that means is, and I use analogies, if you're in a playing a video game, let's say for example, and you get to level 4. Well, you only get to level 4 once you've conquered all the problems that were created in level 3. You don't even know what the problems in level 4 are going to be until you get through level 3. And same thing with level 2. You don't get to level 3 until you conquer all the issues. All right, so I had to go through some stages here. First, we had to figure out what's the advertising going to be. And we had to play around with different things, different words in the advertising to get people to put their hand in the air and to reach out to us and say, here's my address, I want cash offers. And you can do it in postcards, direct mail. You can do it in email. I use a lot of radio and TV. And the radio, if you can run on 15-second ads, they're really cheap, actually. I mean, like really cheap. And my public facing website is jimscashoffers.com. And there's a reason that I do it that way. And I'll just give you a little bit of insight on that. If you put in, let's say you create a website that's best cash offers for my home, or highest price offers for my home, or cash offers for my home, you realize that anytime you type that into Google, Google's going to give suggestions. And it's going to give it a little drop down of suggestions. Well, nobody finishes typing. They just go to one of those suggestions. Well, guess what? When they go to that suggestion, that's not you. It doesn't come to you. So that's why my websites, my public facing websites, start with the name Jim, my name. All right, Jim's Cash Offers. When you start typing in Jim's Cash Offers, Google doesn't give you any suggestions. Like, for example, my real estate team is jimhasthebuyers.com. That's my website, jimhasthebuyers.com. It's a benefit-rich URL. It says what it does. Jim has the buyers. All right. And then also by leading it with Jim, Google doesn't give it any suggestions, which means anybody who's searching for jimhasthebuyers.com actually ends up on jimhasthebuyers.com. So that's why we do that. So anyway, I had to figure out how to do the advertising to get people to actually want to raise their hands. And we tried all different types of things, but really what came in, like 15-second ads work awesome. And it's like, if you want, 12 to 18 home offers if you want 12 to 18 cash offers on your home, go to jimscashoffers.com, input your address, get 12 to 18 cash offers on your home within minutes, speak to no agent, jimscashoffers.com. That's it. 15-second ad. Very simple. We get a lot of hits on that. And what's neat about that is people come into the public facing website, and this only says highest price because I'm in the back end of it right now. Normally jimscashoffers.com is what would show. But anyway, people will just put in their address, and then they will put in their real phone number, and they'll put in their real email address because they think that they're going to put in their address, answer a couple questions, and they're actually going to receive the cash offers. Well, they don't. They end up with an ISA, but that was the level 2. So level 1 of our problems was we need to figure out the advertising for it. I got through that. So now I get to level 2. Well, level 2 was the information comes in, and I run an ISA model. And my ISAs, what we learned is that the verbiage, the words they had to use to get an agent to get to the front door for one of these cash offer leads was different words than somebody who just calls and says, I want to sell my home, send me an agent. So we had to figure that out. And once we figured that out, now we're getting the agents to the door. And now the agents are booked. The person knows they're going to receive the cash offers, but then that became the level 3 problem because the agents would get to the door. Back then, we only had 4 cash offers, and the person would stop at the door and say, okay, show me your cash offers. And they would say, okay, here are my cash offers, which is a really dumb move, by the way. But okay, here are my cash offers. And the seller would just say, those are awful. Go away. Be gone with you. Right. And then, of course, agents being agents would say, Jim, these leads suck. I can't believe you sent me here for this. This is bullshit. And I'm just like losing my mind as the team leader saying, you're at the door of somebody who wants to sell. How is that a bad lead? Okay, anyway. So we had to work through that, and I will tell you how we did that. So now we're up to 19 offers. Again, it's only been a few minutes. 19 offers, and we also have buyers in here. So that's another topic in here that's just fantastic. God, this what I got to tell you, my friend, I've been helping him with this for years, for about 2.5 years, and ever since I've been using it. I'd say, hey, what if the site could do this? What if the site could do this? What if it could do this? And the guy just goes back and he makes it happen. It's just absolute magic. All right. So anyway, what we did to get through the door is we hard coded this Jim Bottrell team 100% of market value. I'll pay you the difference. And basically, what it does is it takes the market value that we put in and just adds 2% and it automatically puts it in there. And then we have our veteran first responder that goes in there. And what's about to go in here, and one of my friends does out of Tennessee, is he's also an investor himself. He has his, and his name is Tracy King cash offer. Right. And so now he shows up on every one of these as an opportunity for him to buy the house as an investment property. But anyway, going back to this was how I got the agents through the door past that these offers suck, is because we had this guaranteed price that was higher than what the people see on Zillow or whatever they're looking at. So now they're going to open the door, let the agent come in. And then at that point in time, they're going to show the cash offers, but then they're going to say, well, I want that price, the 1,428,000. It's like, okay, well, let me show you how we get that. And they just open up their laptop and they do a retail listing presentation. And 98% of the time they sign that. And that's fantastic because I still make the money. I get the listing, I sell the listing, but I get the freeway billboard in the meantime. So yeah, this is fantastic. I want to make sure people understand if the person doesn't take the cash offers, that's awesome. That's okay. All right. But it's just an amazing platform as we go through it. So let's go back to the revenue streams. So maybe you might sell the home to the investor once in a while. If you do sell the home to the investor, all right, so let's say this cash to sell. All right, go through here. So they're going to get two tranches of money that comes in. They're going to sell the house. The person will get about 85% of the value at the initial tranche when they sell it. Then when that investor resells it, and this I say, now the investors choose us, we get to sell it. So we got paid when the investor bought it, and then we get paid a second time when we sell it. So it's not so bad on this platform. All right, and then actually let me take a minute and go through these things. We have our offers right here that go through the door. Pretty soon you're going to see the Jim Bottrell cash offer that goes in here, but I just don't have it up today. But I would say within 5 days it'll be there. In my market, we have a company called Renovation Realty, and they run good ads. I mean, their TV commercials, their radio commercials are really good. And so they're like, basically they show a picture of before house where it's dingy, whatever, crappy kitchen, whatever it is. You want to sell your house, get the most amount of money. Here's your before, call Renovation Realty. They'll come in and they'll remodel your whole house and then you can sell it for so much more. And they show the before and after pictures. And it's just a great story. It doesn't really work that way in reality, but it's a great ad. So we have some of those where these are the repair and list. So they're going to fix them first, put a bunch of money into it, fix it, then sell it for more money. So fantastic. Then you get this, but they do have high broker fees. And then we have a buy before you sell. So these are bridge loans. Now, my daughter's trying to come out and get involved in this. But anyway, yeah, go ahead. These are bridge loans. And, some people will use buyer assist, or I'm sorry, agent assist. They cap at $50,000. That's the problem. And sometimes agent assist will even do these fix before you sell, but again, they cap at $50,000. My team has a bridge loan right now going that's $200,000. So these things work pretty darn well. We have more buy before, more bridge loans, sell and lease back. This is a big one, by the way. If you have a seller, and you run into this actually quite a bit, where they are out of money, they have no money, they can't make their payments, whatever it is, they need to sell, but they have nowhere to go. That's a problem. This actually solves that problem for them because they can sell their house to the investor and then stay in the property for up to a year afterwards. That's crazy, isn't it? All right. So anyway, going back through these ways. So I showed you the reselling the second home, the consumer direct requesting cash. That's when somebody goes to jimscashoffers.com. They input their own information. So we show up to work in the morning and here's the people that requested cash offers. My ISAs start to work them to book appointments for the agents to show up and then turn them into a retail listing presentation. And that is, it's, I call it a loss leader, if you will, but it's fantastic. I have a friend in Texas and he has probate websites. And this is one where I put questionable on there because it's not something I do, but I will tell you he made over $600,000 last month doing this. He used to run a real estate team. He had 55 agents on it. He had a staff, had all that stuff. And he got into this cash offer platform and he's doing something that nobody else is. He's run these probate websites. And this cash offer platform works in all 50 states and it even functions in Canada. There's just no investors there yet, but you can put your own investors in. So it does work, but not quite the way we want it to, or quite the way the owner wants it to yet. But I'm not in Canada, it doesn't do much for me, but I know there's a lot of EXP and real people and all that stuff that are up there. So it's coming. It's coming really soon. So anyway, what my friend does is he has these probate websites, and I'll just give you an example. Let's say somebody, jumps on this probate website, calls him, and actually, my friend and his family were staying with us for a couple days, and he was in my kitchen, and he got one of these calls, and I'll tell you what he said. This person calls, he goes, yeah, okay, okay, all right, what's the address? Says, great. Do you know what's owed on it? Okay, $300,000 owed on it. Fantastic. Okay. Do you know what the condition of the property is? And the person says, well, they've been there for a long time. Probably. He goes, okay, so it's probably maybe rough condition. All right, that's fine. Let me ask you, in the end, you want to sell this property, right? In the end, how much money do you want in a check or direct deposit? How much money do you want from the sale of this house? And the person said $200,000. All right, so my friend goes into the cash offer system, finds out the fair market value, if it's fixed up, is 700,000, but he's got a cash offer for 600,000. So let's just take one of these offers right here. Let's take a premier offer. So let's just use this, and I'll show you how it works. You can do this stuff right in front of a client too. So let's say this was that property that should be 700,000, but it's in not great condition. It's at 600,000. They owe 300,000 on it. They want $200,000 in a check. So that's 500 grand, right? And let's say the offer comes in for 600,000. Go into edit. All right. And then here's the offers. Now, this is what I have hard coded for my team is what our commissions are. 4.9% to us plus a 0.8% transaction fee, but you can make this an amount. And what my friend did in this situation, now remember, let's do the numbers here. This would be a $700,000 house if it's in good condition, but he put it in fair condition, or fair to poor condition. So now the offers came in at 600,000. There's a $300,000 loan. The person wants 200,000. There's a $100,000 gap right there, right? So what he did is I watched him do it. He made his commission $100,000. Yep. And he got paid. Now, here's the interesting part. He never met the seller. He never saw the house. And that what his business is nowadays is he runs these websites in several states now. Again, it works in all the states. And he finds the person that inherited the house. Usually it's in another state. No problem. We have investors there too. And then he just makes his commission, whatever the gap is. And I do know for a fact, because I helped him with his P&Ls, he made $600,000 last month. Wow, huh? Crazy. Anyway, that's what some people do. Another thing you can do on these offers, by the way, is again, this is very forward facing. You can show the client, oh, we got another qualified buyer showed up. Here's all the notes on how everything works. Here's a button that is really amazing. Counter offer. Now you can go in, you can finalize these offers, you can counter offer these offers, you can change your commission in these offers, whatever. And the commission does not have to show up on the seller's HUD. It can, but it doesn't have to. You can have it just come through the offer and have the investor pay you. And that's the way that's done. All right. Let's see here. Coming back to the various ways that we get paid. So the Dallas System probate. A buyer agent can use this to show the client they have off-market properties. And then you could add that buyer into this system just like an agent would with the MLS. How many, what cities do you want? How many bedrooms, bathrooms do you want? Let me show you how that works. I'll give you a quick touch on that. All right, let's go to properties. Now, all my agents on my team absolutely love this because we are a Zillow Flex team, and which means that we get RTT leads, which means a real-time tour. So literally the agent's phone, they'll get a text message. Can you show this property, meet the buyer so-and-so at property such and such, which has this price. Can you meet them there in 3 hours? All right. I hate the concept of those appointments because the appointment is now in a driveway versus at a desk. So I've had to do a lot of training with the agents to get them to overcome this. But think about this. My agents have access to this. They can pull up all of these off-market properties because these are all properties right here that have requested a cash offer on them. And you can see this one's listed right here, but all of these other ones are not. So my agents now know they can pull out their laptop. What they do is they will go through a script with the client. And they'll say, besides this one house, what brings us here today? You learn their why, you ask questions from their answers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, go back and forth. Hey, so what's your guys' process for finding houses? And they'll say, oh, we find them on Zillow. And then my agent, and it doesn't matter what they say. We call the signs, we find them on realtor.com, Redfin, Zillow, whatever it is. The answer is, what about the homes that aren't on Zillow? Or what about the homes that don't have signs in front of them? And they will always say, what do you mean? And then they go into the off market script that we have developed for the agents. Because remember, there's two ways to convert somebody. You give somebody something they want but don't have, or you give them something better than what they have right now. People believe that with the advent of Zillow and Realtor.com and Homes.com and all stuff, that they have access to all the homes that are for sale. The fact is, they do not. In fact, 28% of all the buy side sales that my team does are to off market properties, which means that our buyers don't have to compete against other buyers for great houses. All right, so this is how my agents use it. They're going to go through the script. They're going to get the person to have the revelation that, holy crap, there are other houses out there. But come on, everybody says shadow inventory, stuff like that. No, my agents are going to pop their laptop open, go right to this and hit properties. And here's all the houses that have requested cash offers. And so they're going to say, okay, tell you what, take this property right here, 1454 Sundance Avenue, and put that into Zillow. Put it in Zillow and tell me if it's for sale. Put it in homes.com. All right. But this person requested a cash offer. Now, obviously, this one's an example for me, but the rest of these are real. And there's 83 pages of them. We can just go and go and go. Right. So that is a fantastic tool. Now let's take that another step. All right. So here's more houses for sale. Just keep going and going, don't we? And there's a lot of them. All right, so now think about the next tool that a buyer's agent can use on this. Think of them holding an open house. Now, would you in an open house try and sell other properties? Well, maybe if you're really bold. But let's say a buyer walks in and it turns out they have a home to sell. Your agent at the open house is a very good communicator and is able to extract information, why the people are buying, what their problems are, and then the solution to those problems. And if they have a house to sell, they can say, hey, would you like me to generate 12 to 18 offers, cash offers for your home right now? I can do it in 3 minutes. Doesn't cost us anything. Let me show you. And you just open up the laptop, put in the information just like I did for this property right here, and boom, you're going to watch all these offers pop up. Then it gets even better. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you know what it also has right here? There are 13 qualified buyers that are looking for homes that match this criteria. Because remember, I said you can go ahead to this My Buyers tab right here at the top and input your buyers into the cash offer system. Then they will receive property alerts just like they do on the MLS. They're going to receive an email with a property alert that says new off-market property hits your criteria. However, when they open it up, they don't get the full address. In order to get the full address of this property, they have to contact the agent. Unlike the MLS that will shoot out the full address, they can go to Zillow and then hit the schedule a tour and end up with some random agent. Doesn't work that way with this. You have captured that buyer. That buyer has nowhere else to go to get the information other than your agent. All right, so I love that. That's actually one of my favorite features on that one. Instant cash offers, I said open house, so I just did that one. Now, vendor support. Now, when you want to buy this platform, obviously there's an expense to it, and this is what the cost is. All right, it's not very expensive at all, honestly. Tier A individual subscription, $299 a month. That's it. There is no setup fee. $299 a month, you get access to all of the stuff that I just showed you. If you have a small team, let's say 2 agents plus 1 admin, $599. Maybe a little bit bigger team, 5 agents, 1 admin, $949. 10 teams, okay, we go up. Once you get above 15. Now, interesting enough, this is tier E. This is what I'm at. And even though I have been using the platform, I gave the owner the idea, and I'm very good friends with him, and I talk to him every day. I have never asked for him for a discount. I have never asked for anything for free. I have never asked for any of that stuff. One, I respect him tremendously. And two, I'm making so much money off of this. I don't need a discount on it, to be honest with you. So anyway, very inexpensive. So let's go back to here again. Now, vendor support. Cost, you can have vendors pay for this, all right? And it is RESTbook compliant. So let me show you how you do it. When you input a buyer into the system, you're putting in their phone number, their email, and stuff like that. And especially if they have a home to sell is fantastic. And this is how you get the vendor support. So I have myself in here as somebody who has a home to sell. And just like Fellow or Wailopo or HomeBot, every month, this cash offer platform sends them an email. And it says, this is your home value. All right, click for your home value. And I'm gonna show you, I just got mine. just came in the other day. So you can see my inbox. It just came in. It's always scary when you open up your email in front of everybody, isn't it? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Sorry about that. Here we go. All right, so this is my home. This home uptick is something that is for free that comes with the cash offer platform. So this is how we're doing the automated stuff. So I live on 915 Pearl Drive in California. It has my branded information. Hey, let's click on seeing my home value. All right, it's going to put it in here. Okay, great. All branded. The home value, moving on through. You can put in, yes, it's about right. No, let me change it. You can click here, free home analysis. That's going to notify you, the agent, or your ISAs, whatever it is. Or if you want to update the home details, regardless, anytime somebody clicks on this, we get a notification that they're interacting with the site. Now we have we just added this yesterday because we do giving back is a big deal to us. And so we just need to get a picture in here, but we dedicated ourselves to giving back. A portion of every single transaction goes to Rady Children's Hospital, also Tunnels to Towers. All right. I was on the news, or actually I'm on the news all the time, but this is an interview with me on the news, but they can go through events near you. Now, this works in every city in the United States. Every nearby event shows up, and they can click on every one of these. This is what's going on. This is it costs more. Is it free? We get tickets, whatever it is. Go through that. That's kind of awesome. Also gives you a cash offer. Now, remember, this is me looking at this as the consumer that owns a home that my information has been input into this system. It goes through here. If you want to change your address, phone updates, email changes, funny that people do it. And then this will also tell you some local market statistics. There's 180 active homes, move through here, median sales price change, show active pending sales. Again, if somebody clicks this button, we get a notification. They want to see what's going on, which tells us that that's a good reason to have a conversation with somebody. Some seasonal maintenance stuff. This is your interest rates charts, what they've been doing. This is we co-brand with our lender, Scott Evans. Great guy, by the way, fantastic guy. And now this is something we just started doing. I've been using the platform and I've been focusing on the offense stuff, but not so much the defense, like where I can have other vendors pay for it. So we just started adding people in here. So trusted service providers. Now you can add in the pool builder. I threw him in here because he built that. All right. Great guy, by the way. Now, if somebody wants to view that, they can do that. Now, Dave can pay. I don't actually charge Dave because he just did an awesome job on our pool. So I just threw him in here free. But you can have window people, HVAC people, you can have contractors, you can have house cleaners, you can have your mortgage, you can have your title, you can have your escrow, you can have everything in here. In fact, there is a guy, and I just learned this yesterday. There is a guy in Colorado that has so many providers that are paying for his platform cost. Where's that? That he's making plus $4,000 a month. It pays for his platform, and he's getting paid $4,000 a month. How about that? I was a little shocked when I heard that. I'm like, oh my God, I'm missing the boat on that one because I'm sitting here paying $1,900. Like, I can make this a profit? Are you kidding me? All right. So anyway, when you guys get back to me in probably a week, you're going to see that I'm getting that $1,900 paid for. Anyway, so the vendor support and then also the recruiting tool for your team. This is an amazing recruiting tool. So for example, we had an agent interview on our team, and it got brought to my desk because this guy's a performer. He's not a hitter, but he's a performer. He's a good performer, good track record. Somebody we definitely want to have on the team. So we brought him in my office, and I was talking to him, and he was asking about, what is it that you guys bring that my current broker doesn't, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you know what I did is I said, give me an address. And I went right in here and I said, add a property. And then I went right through it, all the things that he can do with this platform that I pay for. I don't make my agents individually pay for it. I run a team. 85% of all my team's business is team business, only 15% SOI, which they need to be better in their SOI, but whatever. So this is included with him. So he's joined my team. You get this included. And that was it. He was just like, I'm sold. Where do I sign? And so it is an amazing, amazing recruiting tool. So I have some people that ask, let's say there's a lot of EXP people that are starting to this platform, but they ask about, what's the difference between this and express offers that EXP has? So let me show you. I've never actually personally used Express Offers nor Agent Assist, so I had to do some ChatGPT and some Googling, but I had, a whole bunch of topics that I wanted to look at and say, okay, well, what are the differences? All right, so we're just going to run through them real quick. Express Offers versus our cash offer platform. Express Offers will give you between 0 and 5 offers. There are sometimes you get 0 offers. I've never seen that on cash offers. Cash offer platform, typically 14 offers, up to 30 in some cases. How many are we at right now on this one? Okay, we have 19 offers, 13 buyers, by the way. Oh, by the way, sitting in a listing presentation. Imagine saying, I have 13 buyers for your house already. Something to think about. All right. 30, I've seen as many as 30 offers. Time to generate the offers. Express Offers is 24 to 48 hours, and that's weekdays only. Weekends, you might be 96 hours. Cash offer platform, instantly. This is a Saturday, right? So I'm recording this on a Saturday. So nearly instantly. So you can see it took about 3 minutes to get 9 offers, and within 5 minutes, I had 19 offers. Not bad. And remember that we can finalize those. We can finalize a bunch of them. You don't have to finalize one of them. You can finalize 6 or 7 of them, get those final offers, because they're going to ask you for some pictures and things like that, which is fine. And then you can hit the counter offer button and counter offer them. Offer range. Express offers 60 to 75% of value. Cash offer platform. We have investors that'll pay 90%. And there's even one that'll pay a little bit more than that. So that's actually pretty easy sale. How the commission's paid. In the Express Offer platform, it shows up on the seller's HUD as an expense to them. On the Cash Offer platform, it can show up on the seller's HUD, but it doesn't have to. We can actually just put it in the purchase price of the investor, and therefore that seller does not see that we got paid that way. Now, it'll be disclosed somewhere, but it's not on their HUD. All right, reselling the home after the investor buys it. In Cash and Express Offers, you don't get the relist. From everything that I've been told and the people that I've talked to about this, you don't get the relist. And if you do, they're only going to pay you 1.5. On the Cash Offer platform, you nearly all the time get the relist, and they code it at 2%, but you can go back and change it and get more. The fix before selling the home. So this is, remember I told you that renovation realty thing that we have here. Express Offers doesn't do it, but Realty Assist does, but they cap at $50,000. Well, I don't know what kind of remodel you're going to do on a house for $50,000. So the cash offer does do this, and there is no specified cap. Selling and then staying in the home after sale, Express Offers can say up to 60 days. Actually, it's 59 days. But the cash offer platform is a full year. When you finalize the offers in Express Offers, you have to finalize them outside of the platform. And you're going to choose one investor and you're going to finalize it with them. On the cash offer platform, everything stays inside the platform, and you can finalize 10 of them if you want, and then create a counteroffer negotiating war with them. So it's really awesome on that. Counteroffers, I already said that. Express Offers doesn't do counteroffers, but the cash offer platform does. Now I got some lead gen things in here. Lead gen, seller inputting their own offer. This was, let me go back to this right here. These are 2 of our offers right here. All right, this is for retail. And then within a week, you're going to see a Jim Bottrell cash offer is going to be here as well. You cannot do that on Express Offers. All right, and then buyer's agent showing off-market properties. Remember how I showed you guys that a buyer's agent can just go to properties and show, if they meet somebody at the door, meet somebody at the open house, would you like to know about the off-market properties? Express Offers doesn't give you that. That is not there. Inserting your own offers to generate traditional listings. I already talked about that. Monthly home value emails. I showed you this here where I got the email and I did the home uptick, and then I clicked on it and it showed me this. It showed me the value of my home. It shows me videos, all the events that are going on in my neighborhood, which works in every city inside the United States, what my cash offers are, updates on the profiles, what's going on in my market, interest rates, what they're doing, and then of course you have your vendors pay for it. All right, inserting offers to generate traditional listings. We talked about that. Monthly home value emails, great. And lead gen investment opportunity. All right, now there is, this is for your own offers, but there's something here that I wanted to show you guys. And I didn't do it before. When I was going through all the offers, you see this one here, Vertigo? Vertigo is a company that we do business with. They're a flip company or a resale company that when we have a listing that's not a retail type listing, and we can call them and they'll come and buy it and then flip it. And since I brought them into the platform, and by the way, it's not there are other people using this cash or other teams using this cash offer platform in my area. So I brought Vertigo in. Vertigo pops up as an offer on their offers as well. So grab some random team, finds a house at 123 Main Street, inputs it into this, and then Vertigo ends up buying this. Now, I had nothing to do with the advertising. I had nothing to do with the agent who input in the system, and I had nothing to do with the process of Vertigo buying it. But since I brought Vertigo into this system, I get paid 0.75%. Literally, it's just a direct deposit that shows up my account. I was like, what is this here for? Oh, it turned out Vertigo bought a house. Awesome. Can't do that on the Express Offer platform. Um, and then that's the investment opportunity. Revenue streams does not allow for local investors. So I just told you about that one. And then and it doesn't provide a system for team owners to sell the Express Offer platform. Now that's the revenue stream. So I went through everything as an end user. Now going back, I've been using this platform for 2.5 years. It saved my company. My company would not be here. I would have retired, probably be divorced because I drive my wife nuts. Um, it's actually not. It's probably true. Anyway, the my friend approached me. My friend who created it. He says, Jim, we have no marketing, no advertising, no salespeople. We have several thousand users throughout the United States, but we can support 100,000 agents, and we only have 2,000 agents using this platform. Do you think that you might want to? And he said it's because you've figured out how to use this system better than anybody has, and you were the one who gave me the idea, and you have been the one who's been helping me develop it, like by giving me like feedback, like consumer feedback on how to fix it. Do you think you might want to sell this? Like you can go out and sell it. And I said, okay, well, I would, but I don't really want to just go sell, to individual people. What I'd love to do is go sell to sellers. Now, will I sell to individual people? Yeah, of course I will. But I want to sell it to the sellers. And so I want to use kind of a tiered system with it. So if you will, a multi-level system. So remember, here are the prices. If somebody wants to buy this and become a user of it, now that I sell it, all you have to do is go to my white label platform. If you want to resell this platform, you can have your own white label. And this is your own branded site. For me, I just chose cashoffersite.com. I didn't put Jim in front of it on purpose because I want it to be, because it's a national thing, right? And so if you want to be a user and you want to have an individual subscription or a team subscription, you can go to Cash Offer Site right here, join now. You can go down, scroll on down. It shows the things that we do, see the pricing tiers, and you can just go ahead and log in and just go to cashoffersite.com. And that's my white label. Now, if you want to be a person who also sells this, let's say maybe you're at Real or LPT or EXP and you've got a big downline and you're saying, I can sell this. Well, this is how this works. You can become an authorized operator. Now, to become an authorized operator, you do have to do some paperwork. It's the same paperwork. I mean, almost the same paperwork as I have with my OSAs on my team. You don't own the company. You can't steal the leads. You can't take the information and give it to someone else. That stuff. All right. It's a pretty easy agreement. It is a one-time charge of $750. You don't have to pay it up front. You can pay it over the course of 90 days through the revenue that you generate. You can use that to pay for it. There is no monthly fee to be an authorized operator. So it's just because they have to create the white label, they have to create the website, they have to create all the back end stuff. The $750, they lose money on that. But that was something that I worked out with them. So you become an authorized operator. And if you sell the platform, you're going to get 20% of the gross revenue every single month. So if somebody signs up under you and they're paying, let's just call it $299. All right, you send it to an individual user. You get 20% of that every single month. And the company, the Cash Offer platform, will run their credit card for $299 every single month. And you're going to get direct deposit in your account about $60, a couple cents short of that. All right, now if you obviously sell one of the big teams up there, it's $2,000. Well, now you're getting direct deposited $400 every single month. You sell it one time, you get paid every single time. And then let's say one of the people below you that you sold it to then wants to become a seller, him or herself. Well, then you'll get 10% of everything they sell. Now, that's not 10% of the 20%, that's 10% of the gross. So going back to this again, let's say you sold somebody a individual subscription at $299 a month. Great, you're getting your 20%, you're getting your $60 from that. But then they sell a team that's doing $2,000 a month. Well, they're going to get $400 a month, but you get $200 a month. So you get the 60 from them, but you also get the 200 from this one every single month. So that's how that all works. So if you want to join again, if you can reach out to me direct if you'd like, my number is 760-390-2835. Again, that's 760-390-2835. Or Jim B at BottrellTeam.com. You can just go to the cash offer site and sign up for it. Now, when you sign up for this, it's going to ask you what username you want. And I would recommend you start it with your first name. You don't have to. You can make it whatever you want. But for me, I just found that having been doing this marketing stuff for 15 years, that using my first name was really the best way to do it. And then if you want to become a seller of this platform, again, if you are in one of those companies that have, like you have a lot of influence somewhere, you have a big downline, whatever it is, this is easy money. Like this is easy money. The $299 that it costs for you to, an individual user, remember, they get that home uptick thing comes with that for free. They can have vendors pay the full $299. They can have their vendors pay $5,000 a month and pocket the difference. All right. Because there's somebody in Colorado who's doing that. All right. So that's how it works. If you want to be the white label, I would say reach out to me because I've got to send you some paperwork to do and I'll explain it all to you. Again, give me a call at 760-390-2835. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, I would say I am all done and have a fantastic day. Take care, everybody.